under attack because I know we're doing something significant enough where Satan tries to attack us, truly.
All right, guys, I am done with everything. I've pretty much stitched everything together, done editing, and through everything I've been watching, my whole video, all my experiments, and all these podcasts that I've been watching, all these YouTubers, I feel like it was necessary to make this little pre-video real quick just to kind of help try to bring us together a little bit. And because this video, guys, is going to be a little bit intense, I am going to test theories, and I'm going to kind of go through what I believe is true, and it might disagree with what you think is true, but I don't want you to think that I'm criticizing you or calling you dumb or telling you that you guys should just go away and not say anything, because I'm highly appreciative of all of the people who disagree with me. The only reason I made this video to begin with is because I started watching things and I'm like, is that true or not? And I thought it could be possible. And it was not the people who I agreed with more, it was the people who I disagreed with more that really inspired this video to be made. Does that make sense? So I'm highly grateful. I'm grateful you're out there doing experiments and grateful you're out there questioning things. For example, there's other people who are shooting steaks and meat, and I'm kind of critical of that experiment, but I'm grateful you're out there doing it. I'm super happy that you're actually out there doing it. You're not just a couch detective. You're actually doing something. Whether I agree with your results or whether I agree with if it's true or not, I don't care. I'm grateful you're doing it, and it's what inspired me to actually go out and do a lot of these experiments. Does that make sense? I don't think we should be divided. I think we need to be, even if we disagree on each theory, I think we can investigate in our own parallel lanes and come together based on evidence. And we're going to get to that in just a second, because it's all going to come down to the evidence and whether or not we're willing to agree on the evidence and ditch what we maybe thought was true if it's proven wrong. But that's the important thing. We have to be willing to be humble enough to accept the evidence in the end. And we're going to get to that in a second. But guys, real quick, I think we're all on the same side. Okay, I don't think that we're on opposite sides of this. I think we're all on the same side. We all want to find the truth. Now, I will give one exception. If you're only in this for the money, and if you know you're putting stuff out there that's false and it's been proven wrong, and you're just knowingly lying to people, or you're sharing stuff that you know is already false, then we're not on the same side, okay? But if you are honestly, truthfully trying to find the truth, and you're trying to share stuff, and you're, even if I disagree with what you're sharing, I think we're still on the same side. Does that make sense? What I think, there's a disconnect. And guys, this is exactly what the leftists wanted, okay? I think that they've done this and they're using it against us. But the truth is even if they didn't do this, even if my theory is wrong and they didn't do this, they're still going to use this against us, right? So even if I'm completely wrong on my theory, we still need to fight them and come together. Does that make sense? Because whether or not they did this, they're still going to use it to divide us, okay? Now, what I think is really going on is there's a bunch of people who are kind of more where I lean, where I think the government is kind of like the con man, where they're, whispering like 98% truth to us while trying to sneak in the nefariousness with the 2%. It's not saying that they're telling us 98% truth or they're 98% honest or 98% good guy and 2% bad. It's that they're 100% bad, but they're like the devil where they're trying to sneak the 2% underneath. Whereas the other side is more like they think that the government is like 80% lying, 20% telling the truth, but it's more like a bank robber where it's like, hey, it's super obvious. And the con man and the bank robber are just both equally bad. They're both there trying to steal the same amount of money. It's just the mechanism. I'm going to show you guys a little chart that maybe helps explain this a little bit better right now. All right, guys, so I made this chart. I just want to go over this really quick. And basically what this is saying is it's saying that the government, the mechanism of their lies and their deceit is to use this amount of truth and this amount of lies, okay? And this isn't saying that the government's 100% honest and this is the government being 0% honest or 100% lying and 0% lying. That's not what this is saying at all, guys. This is assuming the government is 100% dishonest and malicious at all times. This is just explaining the mechanism, okay? And the easiest way to explain this is like a con man, okay? Does a con man come to you and, he hasn't showered in 5 days, he has long hair with, food in his beard, and he looks all grungy, and he's trying to convince you to invest into his Ponzi scheme? No, he shows up at your door in a nice suit, he tells you 99% truth, and then it isn't until later that you find out that there was a 1% lie where that's the part where he steals all your money, right? He's not like a bank robber where he shows up, at the bank with a mask on and it's 100%, that he's there to rob the bank. They're both there to take the same amount of money. They're both just as terrible. One is telling you 100% lies, or is 100% malicious and it's obvious, right? You can tell it's 0% truthful. Whereas the other one, it's really hard to tell if he's being honest or not. He's dressed up in a really nice business suit. He shows you all of his success he's had before, and he swindles you out of your money. He's just as bad as the one that's obviously bad. It's just that he's hiding that underneath the guise of being truthful. It's not saying that he's truthful. That's how the government is, and I think that's what my theory is, and that's what I think the people on this side that I agree with is that they're trying to be very sneaky. They're trying to be, they're trying to dress up a wolf in a bunch of wool, and they're trying to throw that into the sheep pen. Whereas the people on this side that are way down here, they don't even think that they're going to dress the wolf up at all. They're just going to throw the wolf right into the pen. And then there's people right here in the middle that are like, you know what? They're not going to really dress up the wolf in sheep clothes and put hooves on it and all this stuff, but they're going to at least paint it white and make it a little bit harder to tell. Right? So there's people all over the spectrum, but we're all on the same side. It's all about the mechanism. Are they, I think COVID is like right here. COVID is a time where it was like the government wanted to see if they could lie to us like 80 to 90% and only tell 10% or 20% of the truth, and to see how many people would fall for it. They were 100% malicious. They weren't 20% malicious or 10% malicious. They were 100% malicious, right? They weren't even 90 or 80% malicious. They were 100% malicious. It was just the delivery of their mechanism during COVID. I think that was a test to see how stupid the people were, and people failed miserably. Okay, it's all about the mechanism. Let me give you one more example. Let's just say in this example that black fluid is always poisonous, and you knock on your friend's door and he doesn't answer the door, so you call the police. The police go into the place. They found a bottle of this on the countertop, and it's obvious that it's poison. There's even a skull and crossbones on here, and the government, says that it was lemonade. Well, this is pretty obvious that it's poison because you found this whole entire bottle on the countertop. Okay, that's one scenario. Okay, and that's what the scenario of the people who think this thing is so obvious you can do a simple Google search and discover it. Nothing wrong with that. That could be true, right? But then the people that are more on what I agree with is more on this side, where the cops bust down the door. You find this on the countertop. The police say that it was a lemonade that he drank. Maybe it went rotten, went stale, got some kind of bacteria or something in it that made it poisonous, and that's what got him. Okay, well, that is the story. That's the narrative they're telling, right? The government comes out, says it's lemonade. You say that it's lemonade. It's basically what you see, and it's the truth, right? It isn't a lie, right? It is not like they said it was lemonade and it was this bottle, like in the other scenario. It was this bottle, it was lemonade. But what you don't see is that when you zoom in, you see this little black speck right there. That's the poison. Okay. It wasn't that the government was completely telling the truth. It was just that they were telling 99% of the truth to try to hide that there was some poison in there. Okay. For whatever end, whether it was themselves or they were trying to cover up someone else's involvement, whatever. It's that little speck that you're looking for right here. And that's the difference. Okay. The people that are more on this side of things are saying that, this is basically that poison bottle on the counter, and it's that obvious to see, and it's super, super simple, and it's really easy to see and discover. Whereas people that I agree with more, I think it's more like that lemonade bottle where the government's telling us 99% of the truth in order to hide the 1% of the conspiracy. Does this make sense, guys? But the truth is that we're all on the same side. Again, this isn't saying that we trust the government 100% or that they're being 99% truthful. They're still lying 100%. The 1% versus the 99% truth here is just the mechanism of them trying to trick us. Just like the con man trying to trick you, he's still trying to take $1 million from you, whereas the bank robber is also trying to take $1 million from you. It's just, which one is it? Is it obvious or is it a little bit less obvious? But guys, we're all on the same side. The side that's over here still thinks the government's 100% malicious in this. Right? They're still covering up. I don't know if they're investigating who they should be investigating. I'm not sure if they're even doing anything with that. And that's what we need to investigate and find out if they're actually doing that and forcing that, in my opinion, is to try to influence that side of things. Whereas the people on this side think that it's a way bigger conspiracy and it's like this obvious. But we're all on the same side. We all want the actual truth. We all want the government to be honest with us. And either way, they're not. Does that make sense? And guys, I think that's what's causing this main disconnect is the people that are on this side of things where they are thinking it's like this obvious down here, don't understand that the people here that think it's right here where they're saying that it's 99% truth with 1% nefariousness hidden underneath. They don't understand that the people that are here are still saying the government are 100% liars. It's just the mechanism that we're going over. And that's why they call these people Fed slop and Kool-Aid drinkers. It's not that we believe the government at all, guys. We don't believe the government is a good entity. We don't think that they have our best interests at heart. We don't think that they're being honest and truthful about everything. It's just that we think the mechanism is a little bit more sneaky, while you guys think that it's a little bit more obvious. Another simple way to describe this is the side that's over here thinks that we need like a microscope to find the conspiracy, because it's there somewhere. The side here that's kind of in the middle thinks that we need binoculars, and the side that's way down here thinks that we can see with our bare eyes, and the side that's like way over there is like the aliens on top of Mount Timpanogos side. Let's move on. Guys, I think this is the truth. I think we're all on the same side, but just like that chart said and showed, it's just the mechanism of the evil they're trying to perpetrate onto us, okay? Right? And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are looking into these other people that I think is the 2%, and maybe they are looking into them. Maybe they are arresting them. Maybe they are doing that investigation, and maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know. But I think we're all on the same side. I think we all distrust the government 100%. I don't think these people over here are crazy conspiracy theorists, psychopaths, and all the stuff that this side's calling them. I don't think that this side over here is fed slop, fed babies, believers, narrative drinkers, Kool-Aid drinkers, like this side is saying. Okay? I think we're all on the same side. I think we've been turned on to each other on purpose by the people who actually did this. And like I said before, even if they didn't do this, they're still using it to turn us on each other. Okay. So where do we go from here? I think it's possible for us to disagree and to stop turning on each other and to turn this energy into investigation into the truth on both sides, okay? And this only works if we're willing to accept the evidence, okay? And let me just say one thing real quick, guys. My main criticism, because we're allowed to have criticisms, right? I can make a criticism without being like a mean person. I would never go on anyone's podcast or YouTube and call them a crazy conspirator or a crazy psycho or a fed slopper. I would never do that. I think when either side does that, whether it's my side or the other side does that, it really, really reduces their credibility, because when you have actual facts and knowledge to use, you don't need to call names, right, on either side. But the one criticism that I will put respectfully is I feel like this side is way too fast to point fingers and name names and make accusations as to who did this. I've already heard like 15 to 20 people be accused as the one who did this. And it's all based on, from what I can understand, it's all based on motive. I could be wrong. Maybe there's evidence there. Maybe there's evidence, right? I admit I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing it. Maybe I'm not seeing it presented well enough to see that there's the evidence. But what I'm seeing is motive, okay? And if we're going to use motive as to who did this to Charlie Kirk, like half the country didn't like the guy. Like half the country is literally his enemy, trying to tell him to, shut up and to censor his freedom of speech. 180 million Americans have pretty much motive to do this. Not to mention foreign governments, the IRS, like who else? Who else out there? You're going to use motive, which is a slippery slope, because motive, we're going to get to motive and what the difference between motive and evidence is in a little bit. So we're not going to go into that too much right now, but that's my one criticism. I don't think we should be naming names. I kind of put some suspicion on certain people, but I actually have some evidence. I have actual posts from these people. I have actual X posts. I have actual Instagram posts. I have actual texts and actual stuff that, and videos and fingerprints and different things that we're going to go over. That's actual evidence. That's not just motive. That's not hearsay. That's not just some random person saying something, right? So we need more evidence like that if we're going to accuse people. That's the one criticism I have of Candace Owens. The one thing that I'm super happy that Candace Owens is doing, that I could give her a huge compliment on, is that she's helping people question the government, okay? And create distrust in the government, which I think is a huge, huge benefit. Would I rather have people question the government zero or way too far? I'd rather have the government questioned way too far than not at all, right? Right? I think everyone would at this point, at least on our side, right? And there's only been two things in recent history. The first was COVID, where I think the government did what they did, like we talked about in the chart, on purpose to see how stupid we were. And we failed miserably in a lot of ways. A lot of people did, right? Even today, people are still wearing masks because they're so scared. But this is the second thing, the Charlie Kirk incident. I feel like a lot of people are waking up. Whether she's completely wrong or completely right, to me, it doesn't matter on this aspect, on this compliment. Because even if she's wrong, she's still waking up a lot of people to not agree and to not trust the government 100% on everything that they say. Does that make sense? So while I don't agree with a lot of her theories, I don't agree with that. My main criticism, honestly, is her willingness to just come out with accusations without the actual hard evidence. Like I said, I could be wrong. Maybe there is evidence. I just don't see it, right? I don't know. Could be wrong. But just coming from my perspective, I haven't seen the evidence yet. But even if she's wrong or she's right, that's one thing that she's doing that's amazing for the cause, amazing for the movement, and I think that is a great thing. It wasn't my side, like I said before, that caused me to do all these experiments. The reason I did these experiments and went through all this trouble was not because of the people who I agree with. It was because of people that I disagreed with. I looked at their experiments and I said, is that possible? I don't know if that's possible. I'm not sure if that's true. Let's go out and do my own experiments to try to prove this. And then I met some people, you know, on both on completely different sides of this, who really, really helped me to like, actually want to make this video. At first I wasn't even going to make the video. I was just going to do these experiments for myself. But then I saw the value that they were adding and I decided, hey, they're adding value to this. Maybe I can add my own value to this and see what I can do. As I have 0 subscribers, I hope I can get this to some people to show them this. I think it has a lot of value. I think it's one of the most mind-bending, mind-breaking, awesome videos you're ever going to see. Maybe the most important video you're ever going to see in your entire life. If it helps us to maybe come together and it helps us to find the truth, I don't know. Feel free to use my experiments. Feel free to use the information you learn in this video to go out and do your own experiments, to maybe tighten your own experiments down. Come out and try to debunk my experiments. The more things that are debunked and the more things that are proven, the closer and closer we get to the truth. So if I'm wrong and you can prove that I'm wrong, great. We're closer to the truth, right? But I just wanted you guys to know that I appreciate you guys doing these experiments, even if you disagree with me, because it's what led me to do my own experiments. It's what led me on my own search for the truth. And I appreciate it. Even if I think you're wrong, I'm highly appreciative of what you're doing out there. You're not just a couch potato, couch detective sitting there, just, if that makes sense, okay? And I have my opinions. I might think some of the experiments and I might think some of the things that, you know, people believe that I tested were far-fetched. But I would never call you stupid or call you an idiot or call you dumb or call you a crazy conspiracy theorist for putting it out there. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I highly believe most conspiracies. And most conspiracies have come true recently, right? Like, you're almost an idiot if you don't believe in conspiracy theorists at this point, right? And I might use conspiracy in this video as a term of, hey, this is a conspiracy theory, but I'm not using it in a negative, condescending way. I hope you guys know that if I do use it, okay? But I'm just wanted to make sure you guys know that I'm grateful for anyone who disagrees with me. I highly appreciate you putting your own stuff out there because it's allowed me to go out there and test things against that. I would never test a theory that I thought was like ridiculous and stupid and dumb. For example, there is a theory that I think is really dumb. That up there behind, it's kind of bright, but up there is Mount Timpanogos, like right here somewhere. I've heard theories that aliens landed up there and took out Charlie with a phaser gun. Okay, that is a stupid theory. That right there, that's sorry to like the 0.002% of people who actually believe that that's what happened. But I would never get my hiking boots on and try to march up to the top of Mount Timpanogos. I probably couldn't even make it if I wanted to. But that's something I would never do. I would never go test that because that is stupid. I would only test a theory that I thought was plausible. Maybe possible, okay? The one thing that I thought right off the bat wasn't possible is maybe the catching the bullet on camera, because I am a photographer, and I was like, without a high-speed camera, that really isn't possible, you know, and I thought it was kind of a little bit ridiculous to put it out there, but I still went out and tested it because it wasn't like a crazy, stupid one, like the Timpanogos one. Anyways, guys, I just wanted you guys to know that I appreciate you guys, even if I disagree with you, even if you're on this side and you 100% disagree with the people who I agree with more, or even myself. I appreciate you being out there because it makes our argument to have competing ideas and to have competing theories helps strengthen all of our arguments, and it helps us to be forced to look for evidence. And that's what we're going to get to now, guys. Division is, like I said, a good thing, but only to a certain extent. At a certain extent, guys, if we get so divided that we lose the next election, we probably won't get any of our rights back ever again. Probably just be thrust out of the yoke of communism, and we won't even be able to do experiments like this even if we wanted to, right? We'll just lose all of our freedom of speech. Like, we were almost about to. Like, literally, I couldn't have made this video 4 years ago. It would have been taken, it might still be taken down, but it literally would have been taken down for sure like 4 years ago, right? Now, the one solution is that we have to be focused on the evidence. If we're willing to come together and say, hey, in the end, I disagree with you right now. You disagree with me right now. It's fine. I'm not going to call you stupid anymore, or a fed slop anymore. I'm not going to call you a crazy conspiracy psychopath anymore. Let's agree to work on our parallel lanes and spend the energy working on the truth, trying to find the truth rather than to fight each other. If we're willing to focus on the actual evidence and say, hey, in the end, whichever one of us comes with all the evidence first, we're willing to side with you. So, for example, if Candace Owens is able to come up with all the evidence, not motive, not hearsay, not all this random stuff that we keep hearing, our side should, if you're a smart, intelligent person, people on my side and myself will have to say, hey, if that evidence is true, and if it actually is evidence, we'll have to be forced to come over here and say, hey, we're sorry for calling you conspiracy theorists. I've never done this, but anyone who has will have to be forced to call these people over here and say, hey, we're so sorry we called you conspiracy theorists. We're so sorry that we called you crazies and psychos. You were right. Let's get together, unite, and go fight the enemy that we found with the evidence. If this side over here is correct, and this side over here doesn't have the evidence, and we find the evidence first over here somewhere, then this side over here is going to have to say, sorry for calling you Fed Slop, or sorry for all this other stuff. And they're going to, if they're logical and smart people, will come over here, merge with this side and say, hey, let's go after the true enemy. Okay? Right? In the end, guys, if it is aliens on top of Mount Timpanogos, and some guy does hike Mount Timpanogos and he finds an alien spaceship and he finds a green phaser laser gun on the ground, and the spaceship's time log that's crashed there says that it landed there September 10th, 11:30, and it took an hour for the alien to prepare to take a shot, and then he took the shot from the top of Mount Timpanogos right there. If there's actually evidence for that, I would expect all of us from both sides to go, this is crazy, but there's the evidence. Let's all go fight the aliens, right? That's what I would expect. And that's really the only way that this division can solve itself, is if we're willing to accept that evidence and kind of merge together. Because at a certain point, if we're not willing to accept evidence on either side, it is, and it will become necessary to kind of fight each other on, hey, like, you're causing way too much division with no evidence. I don't think we're at that point yet where that's necessary. I think that when the evidence comes out, and if the evidence comes out on both sides, we'll have to decide at that point, hey, now the evidence has been shown and you're still not believing it. Now at that point, the division will become so great that we're going to lose the elections, we're going to lose our freedoms if we don't actually start fighting towards each other and saying, hey, like, where's your evidence? You're misleading the people and all this stuff. I don't think we're there yet, but at a certain point, if we're not willing to, on either side, accept the evidence and then unite with that side who actually has the evidence, at that point it will be necessary to go to that point. Anyways, guys, let's get on to the actual video. I just wanted to make this video to help you guys understand I love all of your guys' work, even if I disagree with you, even if I've debunked your theory, even if I criticize your theory, even if I criticize your experiment. I'm sure you guys have criticism of my experiment. And there's several times where I say, hey, if I'm wrong and I have the wrong numbers, please tell me. Please go in the comments. Don't come in here and call me a Fed Slopper and call me stupid. Go in there and actually tell me what I need to do better on my experiment to narrow down the parameters to make it correct. I want to help find the truth. And if I'm wrong, show me where I'm wrong. I'm not going to go on your podcast and call you a crazy person. Don't come in mine and call me a crazy Fed Slopper. Like, let's work together. I'm on your side. I'm glad you're looking for the truth in your own way. I'm glad you're in this lane looking, even if I don't agree with it. I'm glad that I can be in this lane also trying to find the truth. Let's find the truth together instead of fighting each other. I'm on your side. You're on my side. I appreciate you. Guys, real quick, this was one more thing before we begin. Like I said before, I met two people. I met Paramount Tactical and I met Diligent Dennison. Both people, guys, are on completely different sides of this whole entire thing. Honestly, I feel like if we had all met each other, and I feel like all of us on either side, if we had all met each other at some conference somewhere just randomly, we would honestly all be best friends. We all agree about the Constitution. We all agree on morality. We all agree on all these things. This is the one divide, and I think that this is exactly what the leftists wanted to do, is to split us all up and divide us, because we're so strong together. They need us divided to win the next elections and to take the power from us. That's what they need. Because I met both these guys. Both have great, I think, in my opinion, great integrity, both honest guys, both looking for the truth, have completely different idea sets on what's the truth or not in the situation. But in reality, we're all the same, and we would be best friends, and both are honest guys looking for the truth, and we'd all be best friends and have great times if it wasn't for the split that has been put on us. If that makes sense, guys. I just think that we all have way more common than we do separate, and we could be much stronger together going forward on this. Now let's watch this video, guys. It's going to blow your mind. Let's go.